What is happening, YouTube? Blair Keaton here, representing Formula Golf out here at beautiful Cala Resort and Spa, who have been kind enough to have me out to be able to practice and play as I prepare for the final event of the Alps Tour season in Rome. This is the final week, so right about now is where I really need to start figuring out how to implement all the swing work that I've done with Fabian up on at the academy to transfer it into scores. I have been scoring extremely well as of lately, but it's just one of those things where I need to make sure that I'm scoring well with focus. Sometimes I come out and I'm working on swing and I just happen to be scoring well. Today I'm working on scoring in general. So I'm going to have 2 rounds here. This is the Asia course. There's 3 courses here at Cala: Asia, Europa, and America. First round's going to be at Asia. Second round's going to be at America. I'm going to kind of do a little tournament vlog, I guess, in my head. I have goals in mind of what scores I want to shoot, and it's going to be difficult to do. The goal at the highest end is to shoot 10 under for 2 rounds. That'd be super good. Obviously, my immediate goal would be, obviously to play 2 solid rounds. So I'm going to start here on Asia. Next video will be on America. Won't do much talking. I'm going to be really focusing today. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Come along for this ride. Par 4 to start off. I'm going to hit a 5 wood.
Okay, so with no wind, this hole is actually not nearly as narrow as it might look on camera. But there is trouble. If you hit it left or right, you're in some trouble out there. So, but I felt very comfortable with this one. Okay, perfect.
Good way to start.
So I want you guys to try to take note of some of these instances here where like random noises just pop up right before my swing a lot in today's video. I got a new microphone put on this camera and it picks up sound from all over the place. Thankfully, I didn't really notice many of these noises, but I got 104 yards here up the hill. There's a slope long right. I'm going to hit a full lob wedge here. Just aim at the slope. And literally just hit it right at the slope. Took a bounce, spun to the left. It was a really well done shot. This one's like a 5-footer, I would say. It's a slippery little putt. So the Asia course, they put on new greens, I believe last year, and they're all Bermuda, and they're extremely firm. The other side is like more of a bent Poe mix, maybe. So when you put on like these like firm, brand new Bermuda greens, they seem to not break as much. Like all the breaks are very subtle, so this putt felt like it would break from outside the hole, but I ended up playing it inside a little bit more firm. And off to a great start. The putting work I did with Fabian up there at the academy has been unbelievable. So we got a short par 4 here. This one's also extremely narrow. If you push it right, it's OB, and there's a batch of trees and rocks on the left there that you can see out on the screen at the end of the cart path. That's very much in play. So I'm just going to aim at the left side of the green and try to hit a cut. This one was hit well. Didn't quite cut as much as I wanted to. And it also wasn't hit high enough to land on top and stay up there. So this thing actually landed kind of on the fringe and then rolled back down. And as you can see, it's a pretty steep drop off. I mean, in order for me to actually get that on the green, I would have needed to carry that thing 295 up the hill, which I've done before, but just not today. So it rolled down to about 30 yards, actually short-sided. Yeah, I got to hit like a full-blown flop here. Like I said, these greens are extremely firm, and you'll get a good idea of it when you see how this ball lands. I mean, I couldn't have hit that any better. I was a little disappointed when I saw it after running up because I hit it like perfect contact with spin, and it was nice. I mean, it was a 9 or 10 out of 10 shot that just was probably the closest I could get to. So here I got about a 12, 13 footer maybe. So I'm very happy with that. Obviously, I mean, if the goal is to shoot 10 under for 2 rounds, starting off birdie birdie is just perfect. I usually play well, or play my best when I start off, under par for the first 4 holes or so. Please don't mind my swing drill. It is to really activate my center and swing my middle, and that's just what I had to do today. This is fresh off of a lesson with Fabian, so I got 138 yards. It's downhill. And I just kind of smoothed a really nice 54 degree, a little tight draw. Pin was back left, which was the hardest pin on this hole, and it just couldn't have landed it any better. Got a nice little 3.5, 4 footer straight up the, well, I wouldn't say straight up the hill, it broke. But yeah, you can kind of see actually how narrow of a spot it is where I landed it. It was a really quality golf shot. I was very happy with this one. So this is to get off to as my good friend Sean Jones from Jonesy Golf would say, a flyer. Big putt. And again, it's just literally fresh off of a putting lesson with Fabian too, and I mean just firing on all cylinders when it comes to this one. So this is the hardest hole in the course. Don't let the 380 yards fool you. This is the most narrow tee shot you are ever gonna play. I mean, it's OB right. It's 260 some odd yards or to carry on the left, otherwise you go in the hazard or drop back to 300 yards. So I actually like hitting driver off the deck in this hole because it's normally into the wind. I was pretty nervous over this one because I know that if I get it in the fairway, it'd be such a big advantage. And I actually caught that a little bit heavy. And I'm looking at it with a lot of concern because it actually landed like right between the hazard and the cart path, kind of stood up, went on the cart path, and then dribbled back down. Like, look at how close I came to being out. So I got a blind shot here. It's about 153 yards, and I got a 9-iron. So I picked a small target out there. You can kind of see it out in the distance. And then I just really dialed in on that target. Thankfully, it was a good yardage, so you can just hit like a nice full swing. And this was hit very well. So I actually stuffed that thing. I got about, let's say, 10 feet uphill left to right. So I really want this putt because the next hole is a super short par 5. I mean, this could be getting off to 5 in a row right off the get-go if I can pull this one off. So I'm grinding really hard over this putt. Birdieing the hardest hole in the course, going into the easiest hole would be huge. Looks good, but not quite. Enough to settle with a par, which is just fine on that hole. I think I'm sure in Q school, when we played it last year, it was probably playing 4.6. So this is the easy hole I was talking about. It's the widest tee shot you're going to get on this entire property. The fairway just funnels down and to the right, so if you get it on this hill, it'll roll out to 360 yards or so. So I actually tried to just hit a nice little low one. No point in hitting it super high. So a little low cut, catch the slope, let it run. So I got 182 yards here into this hole. The pin is front left. I still have my yardage book, so I think it was minus 14 or something. So I was playing in like the mid to high 160s. It was just like a perfect 8-iron for me. So hit well, but just overturned it. There's a big slope to the right that if I landed it on, it would have funneled it towards the hole, so I was a little upset about missing that slope. And this chip is actually not as basic as it looks because I'm kind of on the collar of this Bermuda. And with the greens being as firm as they are, I really needed to land this soft with spin. I just carried it too far. Didn't get the spin that I needed, so a tough 6-7 footer coming back. And this thing breaks. What I'm doing is activating like kind of my core there, kind of squeezing my sternum into my center, so I kind of just trying to think of the wording for it, but it works very well. I mean, this was a good putt. Very happy with this one because had I missed that, letting 2 opportunities slip, you know, it would have been a bummer. This is another very narrow hole. There's these bunkers out here on the left. If you hit into them, you're blind and probably going to be on a gnarly upslope. So you want to make sure you stay right, but there's obviously OB right. The perfect play in this hole is to send it out on the right side with like a power draw, and then it funnels back into the left side of the fairway. So I really just wanted to focus on contact on this one. Got my 3-wood. And that thing was just absolutely booted. This course is normally actually quite difficult because it's usually very windy out here. I got really lucky with the no wind situation. So I got 107 yards. It's uphill. Like I said, there's no wind, moderate weather. So I'm going to hit a full 60 degree because I don't have to worry about it spinning back. There's a, like right is it seems to be like it funnels to the hole. I mean, hit it perfect. Drawing just right of the flag. And I thought it was going to spin left when it landed, but it kind of just stayed there. So you can kind of see the slope that I was looking at. It's got about 13 feet here. Just no break. A little bit of an overread, but a good putt. And on to the next hole. So par 3 here, up the hill. I think it's +7, so it's 191. The wind's picked up a little bit, and it's more down. So I got a 7-iron here. Pin is back right. All types of room to the left. But this green is very difficult to hold because it's so firm. So you got to hit something into the stratosphere. So this thing's drawing right at the flag, nice and high. Really looks like it's going to be a close one. But when I get up there, I probably landed 10 feet short of that flag on that line, but with the draw, it just kind of came up kind of behind where I'm at and then rolled back down to here. I mean, it's still a really good shot. It's just almost impossible to get to that pin unless you hit a cut in there, but it's just a dangerous shot choice. So I made sure I hit a draw because usually I'm going to miss that to the left. Quick putt, and just never had it high enough with the speed, but the 3 is just fine. So 445 yards, hole 8. This is also a pretty wide hole. There are some bunkers on the left that can get you. Um, During when I played here in Q school, this was just pumping into the wind. I actually had a 6 iron in this hole, but there's a huge hill right around 300, and if you can get to it, it'll roll down another 60, 70 yards. And with no wind, it's just kind of perfect. Get a nice fade down the right side. Good contact, smooth swing, and I rolled down that massive hill. And I only got about 67 yards here. So this one specifically, I want to try to play past the hole and spin it off this little hill, because if I land it on line with the flag, I would basically have to hit like a flop to stop it. So I'm really dialing in on the yardage. It's 72 yards to that hill, and I want to make sure I get good contact and clip it nice. And I did just that, and I mean, hit it perfect. Just carried it 1 yard too short, so it didn't get the entire hill. Came down to about 13, 14 feet. You can see the hill I was looking at behind me. I just probably landed it where my ball is, went up to the hill, and just kind of spun back to there. I needed to carry it just a little bit farther, but still a birdie opportunity. Really good chance. I'm going into a par 5, hole 9, so this is a super good chance to shoot something low. And just kind of just pushed it. Another par. Going into 2 par 5s in a row. This is hole 9. It's a short one, but they try to get you to lay up on the left, and where you cannot get to the green. Whereas if you take it over these trees, it's very narrow. There's a big giant hazard that you got to carry over, probably 285, I would say, which isn't difficult to do when there's no wind, but most of the time this is pumping into the wind, and it's not really the play. You kind of just have to suck it up and hit a 3-iron. But I know that if I push it way right, I'll be in the trees, but I'll be in play. So I felt pretty comfortable over this tee shot, even though it's pretty narrow. I actually pushed this one. It was kind of a bailout, but it was hit solid, so I knew it was in play. I'm on the rough here. Ball's way above my feet, but I'm only 162 yards away. I got an 8-iron. Pin's back right. I got a good idea of where the flag is, and I'm pretty much just planning on starting at the flag and drawing away from it. Put it in the middle of the green, but it's easier said than done when the ball's way above your feet. And that one was dangerously close to that tree, but it's drawing, and this one's actually going right at the flag. Stopped to see if I could hear it land, and I did, so I knew it was going to be good, and it was. Look at that. So I got this for eagle, 15 feet or so up the hill. I just hit it too hard like a dummy. Just crushed it. Now I got a dicey little 3-footer coming back, which is the last thing that I wanted. But I am putting it very well. When you're putting it well, every putt's a chance to build your confidence. So I got this thing inside right, maybe right edge. And sneaks it on the right. So that's a great start to the goal. So guys, I'm going into a par 5, hole 10. Let's see if I can shoot something low. Try to get to 10 under for 2 rounds. Let's go.